Okay, I have my BMW R1200RT. I wanted to put engine guards on there in case, God forbid, I go down. I don't want it to go on those gorgeous engine cases. So I got these. They're a knockoff of a one I see on Wunderlich. And there's no, instructions. You can call them instructions, but you really can't make much out of this. I suppose this is 1/10 of a help. This bar goes across the middle. This is the hardest one. There's a plate that goes on the bottom, and that part is real easy because it fits right where it goes, and you go, oh, this is where it goes. So you put the bottom one on first. But these bars, there's a piece that goes in the middle. And I cannot figure out how to get it on, so what I did, I figured, well, I'm going to have to disassemble something. So you have to disassemble something. What you have to do is disassemble, come down here to your engine, some of this Tupperware, they call it. Take this screw out, and then behind that screw is this piece. And this has two bolts in it on the bottom, and the top piece is what is behind here. So once you take this Tupperware off, take that off. Do that on both sides. So that's not a terrible lot to take off, and I think that's the whole key. And now I'm going to put in the center bar. Okay, as far as installing that, this brace is the reason they invented the word janky. So it's janky to get it in there, and it janks around while you're trying to put it in there. You can't see much, you're on your back. I hope you don't have vertigo. Also on these welds on here need to be ground off. Also the weld on the other side of this nut, I hope I'm doing this right. If not, I'll have to redo it. But at any rate, you do have to grind, so you take a die grinder and grind out the welds, because the end of this is going to have to get inserted into that, okay? So let's keep going. On one side, you have an extension pipe. That goes on the left side when you're facing the front of the bike. The flat bar piece goes on the right side of the bike. You can see this. So this will go in that hole that I just showed. So I'm going to put that, and so I will need the short bolt for this side and the long bolt for the other side. Be sure to put the short bolt on this side with the washer. So that'll go through here. You'll need the washer. Okay, I got that in there. It's just loose, of course. Now this makes sense. I had this on backwards originally, so I had to redo it. But your nut that is welded to the pipe will go on towards the front of the motorcycle. And that's how you'll know you'll have it in the right spot. I guess it would be that way either way, but so the short bolt goes here with a washer, the long one goes on the other side. I should say also that you'll be using an 8mm for this bolt that holds that front crossbar. Okay, now it looks like to get that into that position, you're going to have to take out that small. And so again, you have the suspension mounted nut bolt, which is the big one to the right. And then you have, in order to get this on, in order to get this in to that hole, you'll have to take that nut out. So that's what I'm doing next. A lot easier to do if all this Tupperware was out of the way. But anyway, this is the torque that you're gonna need. It is a 30 torque, but it's not long enough, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to get back there. But at minimum, take off these torques on the Tupperware to get this so it's flexible so you can work a little bit. But now I've got to figure out how to put a wrench on the very end of this or something so that I can turn it, because I stick it all the way in and I have nothing but the end to hold on to, so I'll figure it out. A little improv here, if you're not a professional shop, oh shoot, that always gets me. If you're not a professional shop, you're not going to have all the tools you need, but some of them. So this is a 30 Torx. I had nowhere to drive this, so I took a big 30 millimeter socket. I think that's for a Volkswagen something. And I put it on a 1/2-inch drive, and I'll be able to get that in there. I get my torque wrench. I don't need to torque it. I just have it. The torque wrench is the closest 1/2-inch drive I had. So we'll need to get that one bolt out of there. If you want to make your life easier, take some of that lower Tupperware off. I don't like to, because it's hard to find all the ways to put it back correctly. From what I see, this distance between the two, this piece on the right needs to be bent out a little bit so that I can get it to fit, because I put this one on first and I can't get this one. It's not much, but I can't get it into the position. So I'm gonna put this one on first, but first I'm gonna bend this out a little bit. You can always push it back, right? If you don't bend it too much, you can just pull it back in with the bolt. Okay, here's another fun part of these Chinese manufactured. They're not exactly as they should be. I had to bend this tab up at a different degree, a little bit different degree on that lower one. Now this one, I need to bend. I need to bend this angle out a little bit and then this back in, because it doesn't fit. So frustrating. Things don't fit like they should. Part of the problem even. Look, see this comes down, see how this is at an angle? That does not help. So, a little frustrating. Okay, I took a die grinder and I ground some off that side, because they welded that thing in completely cockeyed. So, in the big picture, you know, these were, I don't know, 160 bucks, and they're, I don't know, 400, 600, 800 from Wunderlich. Maybe those Germans have got it figured out. Because I sure had to mess with this, and I have to bend that tab a little bit again. So I'm gonna put a little paint on there and put it back together. Hopefully it'll all go. So just going over this, I do have this in. Again, you'll see this big bolt that is part of the suspension hold down. There's something here, and then there's an empty hole here for this Allen wrench. Not Allen wrench, but this bolt. It's actually a torque head and a 30 millimeter. And so you can see the joint there, it's not perfectly straight. I don't think anybody's gonna see that as well under the motorcycle, but it's a sign of sloppy Chinese workmanship. But if you bend things and everything and put it together, the whole idea is this will keep this case from getting damaged if the bike does lean over all the way, lean over if it goes over. And so I'll probably put some in the back to protect the bags as well. There's a piece for that. And then it's all bolted to this piece that goes underneath. And I do have to tighten everything up because you want to put everything together loose, of course. But the main thing was to loosen up these Tupperware screws, take those out so that you can flex this and get things in there. And then this has to come out. And this piece is bolted, gets bolted. It easily comes off right here. There's two bolts to hold that in. And then it's a hold down for this outer piece of the Tupperware. So that's its only function, but it's in the way. So you can easily take that out. So this is all doable. It's just one of those things. It's not easy to get in and get stuff done, especially when the parts don't particularly fit that well. My concern was clearance here from the exhaust. I don't like to have painted items up against the exhaust. And so there is a gap there, enough of a gap. I had to bend this at an arc to kind of go around that. It wasn't terribly difficult, but the worst part was this piece up here did not fit well. Now I got to put a lock screw in there That's this little piece here. There's one of those on each side. Don't forget to do that. And that'll lock that down. But the main thing is solid as the rock. And so it will serve the function I purchased it for. So in summation, these are good engine guards in as much as they guard the engine. And that's what my goal was, so I did it. But like a lot of things, you pay a little less money, you do a lot more work. But that's okay, because I have to say that, I already bought them. But anyway, if you have the means, you might buy the better ones. Other than that, they're doing the job. I'm happy with that, and gonna go on a nice ride tomorrow. Get out there yourself. So in summation, these are good engine guards in as much as they're guarding the engine. The idea with these guards is that they're not in the way to service the bike, either with respect to adjusting the valves or changing the oil or such. So they are engineered to work around the bike to be unintrusive and still do their job in a nice, quiet way. And that's great. So they're successful for that. I would just say, of course, if you've got the time like I do and you want to pay less, you can make them work. Use your vise, bend things a little bit, grind things a little bit, and fit them in. But if you've got the means, I wouldn't blame you for buying the more expensive ones that probably fit a little better. But anyway, going out for a nice ride tomorrow, and I hope you are too. See you later.